If today SM Entertainment were to recruit 12 boys all over again, backing them with the exact same caliber of resources, the exact same tier of production teams, and even the exact same caliber of hit songs, would they still become EXO? Many would say, of course. The talent is still there, the industrial system remains intact, and today's capital is even more massive than it was back then. But that is precisely the problem. If the answer were truly that simple, why is it that over the past 14 years, the entire K-pop industry hasn't seen a second EXO? Today, when we bring up EXO, we aren't here to rehash those miraculous sales figures, nor to debate whose stage performance was the most breathtaking. What we are here to discuss is an unprecedented and perhaps unrepeatable experiment of industrial myth-making in the history of East Asian pop culture. EXO's irreplicability lies not only in the data they generated or their generational dominance. It is because, across three dimensions, industrial configuration, aesthetic standards, and sheer technical prowess, they are the perfect product of an all-encompassing allocation of resources during K-pop's heavy industry peak. But more importantly, EXO remains a swan song because the very historical soil that nurtured them has completely vanished. Equipped with a flawless functional lineup and highly recognizable visuals across all members, EXO achieved a perfect mastery of digesting complex concepts alongside an unshakable stability in stage presence. When looking back at EXO's history, many easily arrive at a simple conclusion. SM Entertainment was simply too powerful back then. It is undeniable that in 2012, SM was the absolute setter of K-pop's industrial standards. Possessing the strongest training system and monopoly-level media resources in all of Asia, EXO is indeed the crystallization of the SM Empire's industrial capabilities at their most mature. EXO's success is undoubtedly linked to SM. Yet equally crucial is the realization that without the open window of the Chinese market, without the historical node of the mobile internet boom, without the sweeping wave of East Asian consumer upgrades, even the SM of that era might not have been able to replicate EXO. Today's K-pop industry has long entered an era of multipolar fragmentation, fiercely contested by HYBE, JYP, YG, and countless independent labels. But even if we could turn back time, the perfect alignment of all those macroeconomic variables, the right time, the right place, was an improbable historical event that simply cannot be restaged. Rewinding to 2012, the birth of EXO was by no means a conventional idol project. It was the ultimate strategic gamble by SM Entertainment during its golden age, betting on the cultural and economic integration of East Asia. At that time, South Korea's domestic entertainment assembly line had reached a state of perfection. Across the sea, China was at the nexus of an economic takeoff and the massive release of its demographic dividend. The twin star setup of EXO-K and EXO-M, one unit targeting Korea, the other China, serving as conceptual mirrors of each other, might seem imbued with a sort of classical romance today. But under the commercial logic of the time, it was a surgically precise expansion model of domestic manufacturing plus offshore market. At the time, it looked like a story with absolutely no reason to fail. China's colossal incremental market and Korea's highly sophisticated industrial assembly line achieved a profoundly tacit synergy. This was a crystal-clear strategic wager, projected to yield a growth curve with no ceiling. However, drastic era-defining variables abruptly halted this rhapsody. The subsequent wave of contract terminations by Chinese members, subtle geopolitical frictions, the rapid rise of domestic idol industries in both countries, and the ensuing cultural market isolation essentially declared a premature end to this East Asian cultural globalization experiment. These 12 individuals took flight in the era's strongest tailwinds, only to bear the full weight of sudden zero gravity when the giant wheel of history shifted course. The most ruthless and central difference in this epochal shift also lies in the iteration of media technology and algorithms. Many feel that today's idols simply aren't as famous as EXO was back then. This isn't an illusion, but the fault doesn't lie with the artists. Rather, the rules of the game have fundamentally changed. In EXO's era, the battle was for attention. Today, the battle is for retention. These are two entirely different games. In the past era of centralized media, your goal was to make everyone know you. Once you stepped onto a national broadcasting station or participated in a state-level event, you shattered echo chambers and forged a mass consensus. But in today's decentralized algorithm-driven era, a platform's goal is to make a specific segment of people scroll past you continuously. Algorithms have segmented the public into countless isolated filter bubbles. As a result, today's idols can boast incredibly high fan loyalty, but their general public recognition is nowhere near what it used to be. Superstars are becoming scarcer, while content is multiplying. EXO is quite possibly the last cohort of idols to enjoy the absolute attention dividend on a national and even pan-Asian scale. Capital favors efficiency and stability above all. Through the lens of modern financial models, what exactly does a 12-member supergroup entail today? It entails exponentially multiplied salaries, administrative and coordination costs, and PR risks magnified countless times over. Today's industry has entirely pivoted to precision operations. Major agencies increasingly lean toward launching lightweight groups of 5 to 7 members because the returns are more stable and the risks more controllable. EXO was born in an era that still believed scale creates miracles. Today's capitalist ledger, however, has thoroughly eliminated such high investment, high risk, heavy-duty configurations. Over these 14 years, EXO personally experienced the second phase of K-content globalization, the super dividend period of the Chinese market's opening, the rise of the mobile internet, and the eve of the algorithmic era. They also experienced an extraordinarily unique variable, K-pop's last genuine long-term growth narrative. Today's idol industry is brutally unforgiving. 2 years dictate survival or death. 3 years cement the mold. And by year 5, the bottleneck begins. The market demands instant maturity and instant monetization. Yet what EXO went through was a long, winding arc, from their trainee days to their debut, from explosive fame to the growing pains of members leaving and the controversies surrounding idol dating and marriage. They navigated the seismic shifts of the media market, endured the lengthy military enlistment period, embarked on vastly different solo trajectories, and yet, 14 years later, they still exist under the banner of a fully configured group. They are a generation permitted by time to grow. In this short video era that demands instant success, audiences simply no longer possess the patience to wait for a group to slowly evolve into a legend. This is also the most profound undertone of how these 12 individuals ultimately embarked on 12 entirely different lives. When people look back fondly on EXO, they aren't necessarily just missing a K-pop group. More often than not, we are grieving an experiential era that has already vanished. An era where superstars still walked among us, where mass culture still existed, and where people still believed that a single name could genuinely bridge the emotions of millions. EXO hasn't disappeared. Many members remain active across various fields, and their works from back then are still being continuously sung and covered. What has truly disappeared, perhaps, are the historical conditions that created EXO in the first place.